Welcome to Desktop Central's training program. I thank everyone for making this event to be so successful by joining at your busy schedules. Before I move on, I want to ensure everyone can hear my voice and view the presentation. Please confirm the same by commenting on chat. Thank you for the confirmation. Here's the training schedule. The training will be provided on 7 modules. Every week on Wednesday, there will be 2 sessions at 6:30 a.m. GMT and 11:30 a.m. EDT to cover different time zones. If you want to download the training videos or if you want to join for the upcoming training sessions, you can use the below web link where you have information. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sarandraj Kumar. I work as a technical consultant with ManageEngine. I've been associated with ManageEngine for 6 years. I do implementation and training for Desktop Central, Mobile Device Manager, and OS Deployer products. On week 2, we all gathered to discuss about software distribution, which is one of the important key responsibilities of an IT administrator in a day-to-day IT operations. Let's see what is going to be our agenda for this training session today. The training content is designed based on problem-solution approach. We'll have a quick overview on Desktop Central software deployment architecture, and we'll discuss about few real-time use cases, such as deploying freeware applications, for example, Chrome browser, to all the network computers. In this scenario, I will discuss about creating packages from our templates and how to deploy it to all the network machines by creating a task. Another scenario would be customizing packages like Microsoft Office 2016 and how to install it to a particular department machines, and how to make use of SelfService Portal, which has been recently introduced to our product. The end users will be able to install the applications themselves using SelfService Portal. And I will discuss on few other real-time scenarios and how to leverage the Desktop Central product to overcome those. In between, if you have any questions, you can raise it via chat session. We have expert panel who can answer your questions every now and then. At the end of the session, we'll still have a quick discussion about those answers for everyone's benefit. As of now, Desktop Central supports deploying applications to all flavors of Microsoft and Mac operating system. The product maintains a database with more than 1,000 plus predefined applications for Windows and Mac operating system. These could be freeware applications and commercial applications. These applications are added with download URLs from where you can download the installer binaries and the proper installation parameters. So the desktop administrators can easily create packages from the templates and distribute to all the client machines. Let's have a quick recap on the Desktop Central product architecture. Desktop Central uses client-server model. The Desktop Central server component is installed on the head office, one of your server machines. An agent is installed in all of the client machines. The product supports managing machines within the local area network and wide area network, such as remote offices, and also roaming user machines, work from home, travel from one location to other location. You can also manage those computers. In terms of remote offices, the distribution server is installed, which is going to replicate all the packages and the patches from the Desktop Central main server for the WAN machines to access them locally. It is recommended to install distribution server to save bandwidth, especially during patch deployment and software deployment. The WAN machines will access the desktop central server by VPN or NATing, Network Address Translation. You will need to open few ports and rules to be created in your firewall to allow the access. Desktop Central uses various ports. All these ports are based on features. For example, in order to perform any on-demand tasks, you will need to open 8020, which is called as notification server port. Likewise, for initiating remote session, you will need to open 8444 and 8443 over TCP. The product supports both regular and secure protocols. All the agents would be contacting the server once in 90 minutes, which is known as agent refresh interval. The agents would be communicating the server at this frequency. This is to ensure the server ensures two important factors. One is the network is not choked by agent-server communication. The bandwidth is not increased because of agent-server communication, and the server's performance. The performance of the server should not be affected by agent-server communication at any time. The server has the intelligence to ensure a systematic and streamlined communication from all the agents at this regular interval. Let's see how the software deployment works. What happens when you distribute any software deployment task to the client machines? It is an important task for the administrators to configure software repository. It could be either a local network share or an HTTP repository. The local network share is created locally, and the administrators will copy all the installer binaries to the local share for all the machines to access them. An HTTP share resides on the server machine. Whatever packages you create from the templates will be stored into the HTTP share, and the WAN machines will get those packages from the HTTP share using the distribution server. Like within the local area network, when you deploy a software deployment task, the client machines connect to the network share and download the installer file and start the installation. In terms of remote office, the distribution server will get the packages from HTTP repository for the WAN machines to access them locally. After the installation, both LAN and WAN machines will post the status directly to the server, so we can view the console with the status information. Let's see the differences between network share and HTTP share. Local users can easily access the network share. Hence, network share suits for LAN environment. The WAN machines can still access the local network share. However, it requires network level configuration, giving permission to the local share from remote sites. Hence, HTTP share suits for WAN machines. Since it's a local share, you can add multiple files and folders, but it is recommended to add less than 5 files in terms of HTTP share. Size always matters when you want to transfer any file from one location to another location. So within the network share, as it's local, you can add files from small to large, such as SAP application, AutoCAD, Microsoft Office. Those applications are heavy, so you can locally distribute it using network share. In terms of HTTP share, the bandwidth is involved. So it is recommended to add up to 2 GB file. You have to create a network share, and you have to copy all the files, installer files, exe files, MSI files to the network share in a regular basis. Also, you have to ensure you have given a proper permission to a particular user group to access the network share. So it requires regular maintenance. Whereas HTTP share resides on the server, the product will take care of the HTTP share regularly. Let's get into the actual scenarios which we face in our real-time environment and how to leverage Desktop Central to overcome those. My first requirement is deploying Chrome browser to all the network machines. Let me imagine I'm John. I'm working in my company. I've been requested to install Chrome browser to all my network machines by my manager. Let's see how I can achieve this using Desktop Central product. Before I talk about doing it through Desktop Central, let's see what I will normally do when I want to install any application. I will go to the particular vendor's website and I will download the binary. It could be any application. Then I will copy it to my network share. Then I will identify the proper silent installation switches and parameters and configure the same into the network share. And then I will add the package to Desktop Central or any other products and deploy that to the target machines. The process might look very simple. However, it involves more efforts from me as an administrator. I have to make myself to download and find out the silent switches. I have to go through lots of websites, refer lots of documents. It's a time-consuming process. This is where Desktop Central comes into place. So we support lots of predefined applications. The applications which are widely used in corporates as templates, which is going to automate the first two steps. Let me show you how we can go about it using Desktop Central product. Let me go to the console and log in as John. And I logged in as John. My first requirement is to create package for Chrome browser. Well, I remember about templates, so I'm going to search for Chrome application here. I click on search and type Chrome and press enter. It brings me out various versions of Chrome application. I see Chrome for Mac machines. I see Chrome for Windows, 64-bit and 32-bit applications, as well as I also see the download size, how much bandwidth I'm going to use to download this application. So basically, when I select the application that I want to install and click on Create Package, the Desktop Central product connect to this URL. If you could look at, so this is the URL. Sorry. So this is the URL Desktop Central will connect to download this MSI package. In order to connect to external websites, the Desktop Central product should go through your proxy server if you have any. If you have a direct connection, there won't be any issues. If you have any firewall or proxy, you need to ensure you configure the proxy credentials within our product. So we have settings here in the left panel, proxy settings and proxy edit. You have different options. If you don't have network connection at all, you will choose no connection to the internet. In that case, you will download those packages from an internet connected machine and put it in the share. And direct connection to the internet if you can directly access those URLs. And configure manually if you have any proxy servers. That's what I have done. I have a proxy server in my environment and I've entered all the credentials. And configure automatically using script if you have any script that can update the proxy information automatically. So as soon as you enter all these information, the Desktop Central server will test the connectivity to those URLs to ensure it can download all the binaries. So once it is configured, you are very well to go ahead and download the package using this product. So I'm going back to the templates page where I have selected the application and I clicked on Create Package. So basically, it's going to connect to the Chrome website and downloads the package and adds the installer binaries that you can see in the packages list. So I search for Chrome. Now I find my application that I have created. If you could see, created by John, that's me. So my requirement is to create a task to deploy this application to all the network computers. So I will select this package and I drop down install, uninstall software, and I find two options. One is the user configuration, another one is computer configuration. When I click on user configuration, it will create a task for an option to deploy only to specific users. For example, you can consider Microsoft plugin, Outlook plugin. That should be installed only to users' profile. In those cases, you can create a user configuration and install it on the target user. Whereas my requirement here is to install application to all the computers, so I select computer configuration. So to make it easier to understand, I have already created a configuration. Let me go ahead and click on it, View Configuration, and I have created Chrome deployment. Let me modify it to show quickly what are the options I have configured. So if you could look at, I have provided the name as Chrome deployment, and description. I was requested by my manager, Peter, to install this application to all network. So I have added some description. Maybe when I look at this task in future, this will be a reference why I created this task. An installer type, obviously it's an MSI package. And if you could see operation type, it says install completely, advertise, and remove. When I choose advertise, the package will be distributed to all the client machines, and the end users have to invoke the installation from control panel. When I choose remove, this application will be uninstalled from all the client computers. And under install uninstall option, it says the product will install the application as a system user. If you want to install the application with some admin credential, you can choose run as user option. And I see a checkbox here, allow user to interact with the installation uninstallation window. If I want to install any third-party exe application which don't support silent installation, I will enable this checkbox so the end users can interact with the installation window to complete the deployment. I go to scheduler settings if I want to create a task now, but I want this task to be processed on the agent side only after a week time. I can specify the date and time. I'm deploying the latest version of Chrome application. Maybe in a month's time, Chrome latest version will be released. So I don't want this configuration to be applied to any new computers added to my network. So I will set up the expiry date and time so that this configuration will not be applied to any machines after this specified date. And deployment settings. Each task will be associated with one deployment policy. Here you can customize the installation window, reboot policy. You can wake on the machines. Let's see what are the options you can customize using deployment policy. I click on Create and Modify, and I see all the policies that I've created so far. For example, let me edit this one. So as soon as I click on Edit, it says this is applied to lots of configurations. Whatever changes I make will be applied to those configurations. Do you want to continue? Yes. So I see here the policy name that I've given as deployment weekdays no reboot. And I have two options, initiate the deployment at either system startup or refresh cycle. When I want to install certain applications only during the machine startup, I will go with this option. For example, if you want to install Java application, there should not be any Java instances running in the backend. If yes, the installation will fail. Also, it will corrupt the base installer. To avoid that scenario, you will go with system startup. If I want to install only during agent refresh interval, I will go with refresh cycle. As of now, I will go with whatever happens earlier. And preferred weeks for the deployment, like I want to go with first, fourth, and last week. And preferred days, as I mentioned here, only on weekdays, Monday to Friday. And deployment window, I normally install the applications during non-office hours. So I will start the installation after 18 hours, and I will try to finish it before 12 in the midnight. Since I'm trying to deploy the application during after hours, I want to ensure if the machine is turned on, that should be, if the machine is turned off, the machine should be turned on. I will make use of Wake Online feature of Desktop Central to accomplish this requirement. If you have configured Wake Online settings in the BIOS and Ethernet card, you should be able to wake on the machines using this checkbox. Normally, when you install application, the Desktop Central agent will download the package from the share and start the installation. So download will take some time. If you set up a deployment window to be short, you don't want the agent to download within this short time window. You just want the agent to start the installation immediately. You can enable this checkbox, which will make the agent to download the package and keep it locally during the next subsequent interval. So as soon as the deployment time reaches, the agent will kickstart the installation. As per my company's IT policy, I want to notify users about the deployment. So I put in some notification messages here, and how many minutes I want the notification to be shown, the 3 minutes. And deployment progress, if I want to show some progress bar on the client machine, I will enable this checkbox. So allow user to skip deployment. I always want the users to be notified and given access to skip the deployment if they are doing some important work. And if the machine is idle for 30 minutes, I will initiate the deployment. So if any application that you install makes changes in the registry, you may want to reboot those computers. In those scenarios, you will choose reboot, and either you want to go with force reboot or postpone reboot. If you choose postpone reboot, the users will be getting this pop-up window with this message. They can postpone from 15 to 4 hours at the maximum. Likewise, shutdown, and I want to go with do not reboot or shutdown. So this is what I have configured via deployment weekdays, no reboot. So I'm going to make use of this policy for this configuration. Let me go back to the task creation page where I choose entire domain, entire network. So I have chosen the domain as a target. As soon as I choose the domain as a target, it says you have selected the domain name as target, which involves replication of data to all the distribution servers. In this case, I have to install this application to all the network machines, so I will just go ahead and where I want to just install application only to a particular local office machines. I will choose only local office so that I will avoid replicating this package unnecessarily to all the distribution servers. And you also have option to choose only particular organizational units within this domain, 80 groups, computers, with operating system. Let's say you want to deploy application to all the machines except the servers. You can exclude only servers using operating system. like you can choose only servers. Those can be excluded from this task. You can add a few more if you want. And execution settings. Retry this configuration on failed targets. For example, let's take Java installation. If I install Java when there is an instance running, it will obviously fail. So I may want to try that once again during the system startup to increase the success rate of this configuration. So I will choose retry this configuration checkbox, and how many times I want this configuration to be retried on the agent machines, like 2 times, and 1 during machine startup and 1 during refresh cycle. And notification, I always want notification to be sent for every 6 hours for 3 days to my email address. So I have configured everything as per my requirement. Now I will click on deploy or deploy immediately. When I say deploy, agents will be getting this task information during the next refresh interval. As we explained, it is going to be every 90 minutes once. When I press deploy immediately, the first 50 computers will get the task information immediately. The remaining machines will get the task information during the subsequent refresh interval. The reason why we have this limitation is the agent should not connect to the network share at the same time. I mean all the agents. It will increase the bandwidth usage at the specific time, as well as the server's performance will be affected. Hence, we have this limitation. Even if you select deploy immediately, it's going to be applied only to the first 50 computers. So I have already created a task and deployed to it. Let's assume that I've done weave configurations to see the status of my task. If you could see Chrome deployment, the task name that I've provided, and the status says in progress, failed. If I click on it, I can see the status for individual machines. Like the machine name says remarks like the user skipped the deployment. As you remember, I have enabled skip deployment option. So maybe this particular user is doing some important work and he doesn't want this task to be initiated on their machine. Failed. This is the error code. So based on this, we can troubleshoot further. Like on this computer, it is succeeded, and I see the remarks as the operation completed successfully. So I have achieved my requirement successfully. I have created a task and deployed it to all the network machines. So templates made my life easier. It helped me to create a package in an automated way, and I've created a task to deploy it. Now let's go to the slide. So my second requirement is deploying Microsoft Office 2016 to finance department computers. I know Microsoft Office is a heavy application. So I don't want to use HTTP share. Like I would better use network share, as it's a huge file. I can locally access the files without affecting the bandwidth. So I go to the console, and I want to create a package for Office 2016. So before I create the package, I need to ensure I have configured a network repository, and I have pointed out to the Desktop Center product. So I have option to configure software repository in the console. When I click on it, I see 2 options, a network share or HTTP repository. So I have created a folder, software repository, in one of my file server where I dumped all the applications installer files. So I'm going to browse and choose the path. And this network share is given read and execute permission to every one group. Let's say I don't want to give everyone read and execute permission due to security concern. I can enable this checkbox to provide access to one particular account which can reach out the share and copy the installer files. Now I have HTTP share. HTTP share resides on the server machine. I see the current location. If you want, you can change this location. You can put in the new path here and save it. So I have successfully configured the software repository. Now I have to create a package for Microsoft Office 2016. I want to search whether I can find out Office 2016 under templates. So I click on templates in the left panel and I search for Microsoft Office 2016. So I get Microsoft Office 2016 template, whereas it says type as manual and action learn more instead of create package. When I click on it, it takes me to the how to document, how to deploy Microsoft Office 2016. So I could see the steps involved in it. As per this instruction, I'm going to download the Microsoft Office package from the vendor's website. So there are certain applications requires manual customization, including Microsoft Office. As you may want to drop out some components of Microsoft Office, maybe you just want Excel and Word, you don't want PowerPoint components. As well as it requires license information for the activation. So you may want to enter the license keys. So for these, for these things, you may want to customize the package using Office customization tool that they offer. So I have followed this instruction. I have downloaded the Office 2016 application from vendor's website and created a shared folder as Office 2016 within the network share. And I have created config.xml file along with the license key information and the silent install properties and put it in the same directory. Now I have to create a package in Desktop Central Product using this information. Let me go to the console where I can show you how I can create a package. So in the left panel, I have packages and I have add package for Windows. So obviously this package is an exe application. I choose exe and package name. I'm going to put MS Office 2016. And license type is a commercial software. And obviously it's going to be a network share path. I have it inside the shared folder. I'm going to browse and locate it from my, let's say I have it inside Office 2016 folder. So this is the location I have the setup.exe. Likewise, here also I can browse and invoke the location. So inside that I have setup.exe file, and if I just refer this document, it says how to add the package. And this is the example installation path that I have to enter. So /configure and the path where I have the configuration.xml file. In fact, I have it in the same location. So let me copy it and I type configure and then I copy the entire path and paste it. So this is the installation path for Office 2016 application. If I want to ensure this is legitimate, I have configured the proper license key information, the license details, silent install parameters. I will copy this and open the run window and paste it, and I click on OK. This will install the application silently. This way you can ensure you have configured everything properly. So I have verified that, and I go to pre-deployment activities and post-deployment activities. I have different options here. Like I can set a condition and based on the result, I will either proceed with the installation or about the installation. For example, I want to check a particular software. Like some applications need .NET Framework as a base application. For example, AutoCAD. It requires a .NET Framework application as a base before you install. So I may want to check that application whether it is installed or not. If it is installed, I will proceed with the AutoCAD deployment, or else I will skip it. Likewise, you can check for registry key value and data on a registry value and certain files and folders and running process. As I explained earlier, when you want to install Java, you may want to check whether the Java instances are running. If it is running on the machine, you either kill and proceed with the Java installation or retry until the process has been stopped. And check for free disk space. This might be useful in my case because Office is a huge application. So I want minimum 2 GB free space in my system drive before I proceed with the installation. So I will type in here, I need minimum space 2 GB on my system drive to proceed installation. As per the post-deployment activities, I have an option to run custom script. For example, an application is installed on the client machine using Desktop Central, and it created lots of files under temp directory. So I may want to remove them by creating a custom script that I can use it here. So after the installation is successful, the custom script will remove all the files from the temp directory. The cleanup will be happening. So I have configured pre-deployment activities and post-deployment activities. Now I'm going to advanced options where I have option to set the exit code. Basically, when an application is successfully installed, it returns the exit code as 0. In case the exit code is something different, though the application is successful, it might give the fail status to the server. So you can change the exit code according to your application. And architecture, whether it's a 32-bit or 64-bit application, and max time for installation. So the Desktop Central agent gives 2 hours for the installation to be completed. In case the installation is not completed within 2 hours, it kills the process and sends out a status to the server as timed out. You may want to increase it because if you install any huge application like AutoCAD or a SAP application, you may want to give time, depends on the application, like 3 to 6 hours. That's a maximum time that you can set for installation. And package properties like vendor information, version, and language if you want to add some description about this package. So I have set up everything completely here, and I can click on Add Package. In fact, I have already added a package. So let me go to the packages, and I search for Office 2016. So I get the packages which I've created, like I've created MS Office Finance by John. I select the package and I click on Computer Configuration. This will create the task for me. Actually, I have created the task. So let me quickly go to the View Configurations where I can show you the task that I've created. MS Office 2016 deployment, and the owner is John. So if I click on In Progress Status, I can see the status of all the configuration for individual machines. Like the machine says yet to apply status, the user skipped the deployment, and this machine says yet to apply. If I click on View Detail, it says agent has not contacted the Desktop Central server to initiate the deployment. Maybe the machine is down. That's the reason why it's not communicating the server. And on this machine, it says succeeded, the operation completed successfully. So I have created a package for Microsoft Office 2016 and deployed it to the client computers. Let's have a quick recap on what we have done. So I have downloaded Office 2016 package, and I have customized using Office customization tool, and I have added the package to software repository, and I have created package to my product Desktop Central, and then I have created a task to deploy to the finance department computers. Or let's jump on to the next scenario. I've been getting lots of help desk tickets from all the users for various common business applications. So I've been requested to handle this scenario to avoid unnecessary efforts for the same applications via different tasks. How to go about this? I want to make use of Desktop Central to distribute applications to all the end users, so the end users can install applications themselves instead of their request every time. So I know about SelfService Portal, which has been recently introduced to this product, available in Enterprise Edition, which would help the end users to install applications themselves, whereas the administrator will publish certain common business applications to a particular department or all the computers group. Let's see how this can be achieved using Desktop Central product. Let me jump on to the console, and I have SelfService Portal and SelfService Portal settings. So before I discuss further about publishing applications, let's see how we can launch the SelfService Portal from the agent end user's machine. So I have option to launch the SelfService Portal from the agent tray icon, or a desktop shortcut, or start menu. So if I save this settings, the end user can launch the SelfService Portal from the agent tray icon. If you could look at the end user view, they can right-click the agent tray icon and launch the SelfService Portal. And if you could notice, automate settings, SDP service catalog template. You can go to the next level using this SelfService Portal. That is, instead of just publishing all the application to the end users, you can make the end users to request for the installation, request for a particular application before they proceed with the install. As an administrator, you can approve those applications, then the application will be automatically installed on the client machines. If you use Service Desk Plus, it's one of the help desk management tool from ManageEngine, you can integrate Desktop Central with Service Desk Plus to achieve this requirement. So if you are familiar with Service Desk Plus, there is a concept, Service Catalog Template, that gives an option to sort of technicians allowing approval process. So if you have created a service catalog template, you can put in the template name here. So all those technicians who are part of that template will be able to approve the request from the Desktop Central agent. So I also have two other options, like publish non-commercial software automatically to all computers group. Because in some cases, I may want to install or publish all the non-commercial applications such as Chrome, Firefox. So I can use this checkbox. This ensures those applications are automatically published to all the computers group. And I have another option, publish commercial software automatically to all computers group. When I enable this checkbox, all the commercial softwares will be automatically published to the computers group. However, it will be installed only the user request is approved by the administrator. If you just mouse over, you can see the note here, users should request for the approval before installing the software. So I will save this change. So as soon as I have save this change, the end users will be able to launch the self-service portal from the agent tray icon. So I have done the base configuration. Now I have to create packages those I want to distribute to all the end users. So I have option to create package manually or templates. Let's assume that I have created all the packages. Now I go to SelfService Portal, where I have option to publish software packages to computer or user. Let's see here, I have already created a group, all computers group, and I have published some common freeware applications to those users. So those users can launch the self-service portal and see these applications. Let me show you how they can view these applications. If you could look at, the end users will be able to see all the applications which are published to them and with an action to install them. When they click on install, the application will be silently installed on the end user computers. Now let's say I have a requirement of deploying or publishing Office 2016 to finance department computers. It's a commercial software. However, I know that all the finance department users would require Excel to work with. So I want to just let them install it whenever they want. So I will go ahead and publish for a particular computer group, that is finance department, with Microsoft Office, including these common applications. If you could notice, MS Office 2016 has been published to those finance department computers. So they can go to this view and click on the application with install option. That will be installed. It doesn't require any approval. Let's say I want to publish this application to even sales team, but I don't want this application to be installed by all the sales users. Only those who request, the request should come to me and I have to approve it. So I will select the MS Office. Let's say I go to computer and I select the group, let's say marketing team, and I select Microsoft Office 2016 and I put in the second box, requires approval prior to installation. If I just click on publish, the information will be sent out to the agent, and when they launch, they should be able to see the request option instead of install. If they click on request, there will be a pop-up window where they can specify the reason. For example, need to install the application for my official purpose. Like they will click on send request. This will create an incident in Service Desk Plus product if you integrated both the applications. So let me show you in the console. I have opened Service Desk Plus console. Let me access the console with manager's credential. So Peter is my manager and he's going to access the console. When he logs on to the console and click on request, you can find software approval request from DC for a particular application and from the machine where the request was raised. And if you click on actions, you can click on submit for approval. So basically, John is the person who's taking care of all the software deployment activities in this environment. So he will specify his email address and click on send. So this will be notified to John via email, as well as he can log into the portal to see the approval request. Let's log in as John to see how this looks like. So once I log in as John, I can see this on the home page, my approval request for approvals. So I have also an option to take action. When I click on it, I have option to either approve this request or reject this request. I can also add some comments based on my status. Like if I approve it, the application will be automatically installed on the client machine. If I say reject, the end users will be able to see this rejected status under action. So ultimately, I made the end user to request prior to installation. Only if I accept, they should be able to install any application, specifically the commercial packages. So I have accomplished my third requirement, such as using SelfService Portal. I have reduced the request coming out for some common applications. Let's have a quick recap on what we have done using SelfService Portal. So I have created packages that I want to distribute, and I have created departments like marketing user, finance department, all computers. Then I have associated software applications to those departments, and the users either install the application or requested for the application installation. This ends the presentation for software deployment module. Now let's go about few quick scenarios that we go through in our day-to-day IT operations. The scenario 1, I want to install Autodesk design software on a few computers, and it requires .NET framework. How can I achieve this? If you noticed, in our Desktop Center product, when you create a task with a particular application, you will have option to add more package. So I have added .NET framework as a base application. If you click on add more, you can choose the second application that you want on top of it, like Autodesk Design Review 2013. So first, .NET framework will be installed, and next Autodesk Design Review will be installed. The applications will be installed in the same order how you add to the product, configuration. Scenario 2, can I install software at the user level, such as Dropbox or Skype? Yes, you can create user-based configuration. Whenever you go to install software, you have option to create user configuration and computer configuration. Using this option, you can create a task for Dropbox and select the target user to whom it should be applied. Scenario 3, I have a third-party application that does not support silent installation. How can I install it? So we have already discussed about this. You can make the end users to interact with installation. If you go to packages, and let's go about Chrome, where I can show you the option. If you notice here, you can enable this checkbox, allow user to interact with the installation and installation window. So end users will be able to interact with the installation wizard and complete the deployment. Also, you can create some ISS answer file and playback it during the installation. And you can also use some third-party softwares like AutoIT to create some install scripts and associate with the installation. Scenario 4, I have set up applications including MS Office and CRM deployed for my sales team. So when a new user comes into sales group, he should get all these packages automatically. How I can go about it? So we have option here under the configuration settings, the left panel. So I see an option when a computer or user is added to a OU or group, apply the configuration either during system startup or during refresh cycle after 6 hours. So when a new machine comes into a OU or group, automatically all the configurations applied to the group will be even applied to this new machine. So ultimately, all the packages like MS Office CRM will be applied to the new salespeople. And scenario 5, I tried to deploy a business app to a computer, but it failed. Is there a way to troubleshoot it myself? Yes, there is a way. When you create packages, you can enable the checkbox. Let me show you. Enable login for troubleshooting. If you enable this checkbox, it will create a log file under our agent logs folder. So if you could look at inside the agent logs folder, you can see the appropriate log file for the application. This would help you to troubleshoot further. Let's see some frequently asked questions for everyone's benefit. Can you deploy enterprise applications specifically purchased for an organization? Yes, you can. You can create the package manually using the stops and product and input the license key information via XML file or config file and deploy to all the computers. Question 2, self-service portal is not enabled. Do I need an enterprise edition to use self-service portal? How do I know which edition do I use? Self-service portal is supported only with an enterprise edition. If you want to know, you can go to our console, and if you click on license, you will see what is your license type. Based on that, you can either upgrade to enterprise edition so that you can use it. Where on the user's PC does it copy the software installable? Does it erase afterwards? So basically, when you install an application, the agent downloads and keep it in the agent folder. As soon as the application is installed, it will be deleted. How does the install after timer work in relation to the refresh policy for software installation? Let's say if you set the install after time to be a day or 1 week time. For example, if I create a task with a package, I can explain you better. So I set install after like 23. So which means the task will be processed only after 11 o'clock at night. If you deploy the task enabling this checkbox, so during the next agent refresh cycle after 11 o'clock, the agent will start the process of installing application. If I want my software package to be replicated to the remote office, what is the best way? The best way for remote office machines to use HTTP repository. So the distribution servers will replicate all the packages automatically from HTTP repository to avoid bandwidth consumption. As of now, you can't replicate packages from network share automatically. So what with the proxy set or the templates packages included with the stop center ready to use as deployment via your repository, or does all the software have to be within our local software repository? You can either use HTTP repository. Basically, whenever you create a template, packages from templates will be stored into the HTTP repository. Also, you can create packages using network share. That is a manual process. Question number 7. When multiple software are deployed in sequence, if the first package fails, does it attempt to continue? How is notification sent back? When the first package fails, the installation will be halted. However, we have seen how to get a notification from the product for every 6 hours that I've shown you. Using that notification, you can either troubleshoot further, or else you can remove that application and proceed with the other applications. What is the best way to research what silent switches work and what they are vendors to a vendor. So obviously it depends on the vendor. Like you have to search for the silent switches in the vendor's website. You can find that in the forums discussions, or also you can find it from our templates where we have added switches for more than 1,000+ applications. And at the worst case, you can contact our support team. We will be able to assist you on this. All right, I have discussed the questions which are common, and I have my colleague Dinesh Babu, who is going to discuss the answers for the questions which is raised during this presentation. Let me hand over this session to him.
Hello to everyone. So I'm going to answer the questions raised during this webinar via chat. And the question number 11, when deploying a package, how do you check for existing version of software? Okay, so basically this is handled in the pre-deployment. So when you are adding a package, so you have an option like to perform the pre-deployment. So let me explain you with the help of console. So if you go to the software deployment and then packages and add package. So at the time of adding a package, here you have an option something like a pre-deployment. So in a pre-deployment, you can just choose, you can perform the deployment based on a certain condition. So say you can choose like a check software, and here you can input the software name. So you just need to type some keyword here so that you will get the list of application identified from the managed system. Say if I want to perform a check on Adobe Acrobat Reader DC, and here I will get the list of version. And also here you can choose like does not equal or less than or greater than. So the answer is, by default, the software deployment will not perform any version check, but you can use a pre-deployment activity to perform the condition-based deployment. Okay, let me go to the next one. And the question number 12, in an AD environment, does the client require the admin rights to install the software? So basically, by default, the software will be installed using a system account. So let me go back to the console. And here you can see when I choose a software and click on install or uninstall software and computer configuration, by default, the software will be installed using a system account. So the system account is the default account available in the Windows machines. For most of the software, the system user works well. And in case if you have a real need of using a runners option, you can use the runners option. Otherwise, you can perform the system user. So the answer will be you don't need a domain admin username and password or domain username and password that got install rights to perform a software deployment. You can just very well use a system account to deploy the software on a client machine. And even end user don't require admin rights when you deploy a software from the software deployment. And the next one is, when I deploy a package and then later on add one more computer, use configuration redeployed to all the same computers again. Yes, if you modify the configuration and add more target, this is true, but I have a solution for you. So what you can do is, when you if you already have a configuration, deployed to the client machines, here you have the option. So under the action, you can use the Save As option. So Save As new means you can choose without target. So without target means you are just duplicating the deployed configuration. So here you can see from the name, Chrome deployment underscore copy. It's just creating the copy of the deployed configuration. So you can use this method to include more target on already deployed configuration. Okay, let me go to the next one. Can I unlock Symantec endpoint protection from workstation? Yes, sir, you can perform the software uninstallation using a software deployment. All you need to do is you need to find the silent uninstall option or uninstall string. So usually using. So you just need to find our uninstall string, and you really don't need a package for performing the uninstallation. All you can do is you can just type like SAP uninstall, and then directly come under the uninstallation and input the uninstaller command or uninstaller string or uninstall switches to perform the uninstallation, and so that you can perform the deployment as a normal package deployment. Okay, fine. And the next one is when I use the self-service portal, which privilege will be used to install a software on user system? So the answer will be so if I go to the self-service portal here, I have a couple of options. So I can publish the software to the computer or user. If you publish the software to the computer, then software will be installed using a system account. So if you choose the user group, then software will be installed using the user privilege. So the end user, if you are publishing a software to the user group, you need to make sure the user have the enough rights to install the software from the self-service portal. So the solution will be always publish the software to the computer, and also we are going to work on a feature like providing a run-as option at the time of adding a package. Meaning that, so when you're creating a package, when you're adding a package, we are going to introduce an option called a run-as option here itself, so that you can publish the software to the user group, and end user can install the software without having admin rights from the self-service portal. Okay, and the next one is there any way to apply multiple programs at once? Yes, it is possible. So here under the software deployment, if you go to the packages, you can see these are all checkbox. So you can choose whatever the package that you want to deploy. So you can just choose it from here and click on install or uninstall software and choose computer configuration. So here you can see I have selected more than one package, and the order of deployment will be the same order as you see under the packages. And if you want to change the deployment order, just drag the package to the different position, and also you can modify the run-as option. Just hit the modify, and then choose the operation type like install or uninstall, and also you can use the run-as option or system account. And the next one will be, how do I find the predefined packages? Is there any way to deploy the software if I do not have the software that I am searching for? Yes, you can. We have option like adding a packages. So you can just add the package, click on add package, and choose the Windows, and choose the package type. And here you can see the path. So in a path type, you can utilize the network path if you have the packages in your software repository. In case if you have downloaded the package to the local machine, you can just choose the HTTP path URL, and then click on add file, and click on choose file, so that you get the option like you can just choose the file from your local machine itself. So whatever the installer that you downloaded, you can just choose it from here itself, from the local machine that gets uploaded to the desktop central server. So basically, Desktop Central comes with a web server, so you can just upload the files that you want to deploy via HTTP option. And also the real use cases like you can deploy the package to the machines connected to the public network as well. So you just need to go with the HTTP path for the machines connected to the public network. And also if you have any remote sites, you just need to go with the HTTP path because if you're managing a remote site with a distribution server, then package needs to be added using a HTTP path URL. Okay, and the next one is, do the network and HTTP repository automatically copy themselves to distribution servers? Right now, both are separate repository, so it cannot be synchronized like the package available in a network share cannot be synchronized to the HTTP repository, and also copying themselves to a distribution server. So when the package will be distributed to the distribution servers, when you are performing a deployment, so you select some package and deploy the package to that remote site. At that point only, the software will be synchronized to the respective distribution server. So by default, the software added to the Desktop Central will not be synchronized to the distribution server. Okay, and the next one is, can I deploy a PowerShell script while deploying the MSI package? Yes, you can. So you can include the, you can utilize this option like, so if I go back to the software deployment and then click on Add Package and choose Windows, here I have an option called pre-deployment. So you can include the PowerShell script in a pre-deployment, or what you can do is you can just add the script as a package and deploy it. Yes, you can do it. And also even we have other options like we have a custom script configuration. So you can use a custom script configuration to deploy a PowerShell scripts as well. Okay, so that's all about the questions raised during the webinar. And here's our next schedule. So next training schedule is for asset management starting at September 07. So it will be a 2 session, one at for Asia Pacific time zone, and another one starts at 11:30 a.m. EDT. Please mark your calendar about this training, and also you will get the invitation, or you can simply contact the support for registration link, and we will be sharing you with that. Okay, and also please provide a feedback about this webinar, so you will get the as a session. Please do take some time to provide the feedback. Your feedback is valuable to us, and also that will help us to improve this webinar and also include a more topic on this. Thank you very much for joining this webinar, and you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye now.